Welcome everybody to the first week of PPL Season 2 Heat of the Week featuring myself. I'm KJ2294 and we got Eli.
Here.
So,
Here what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Eli the Rebel. You know the vibes, man.
There we go.
Come on
so
now.
we got some heat this week. We definitely got some heat this week. There's some cool stuff. Some cool stuff that we got going on. So it's gonna be really interesting to hear.
Especially for week one as well. Cause like usually you don't see like heat, super heat until like, you know, week 3 or 4 when you like get comfortable with the team. But we saw this week that you know, some coaches are just, you know, pushing it pedal to the metal this week.
Oh yeah,
they do not care.
There's some coaches coming in with some serious heat. I think we're gonna start with an honorable mention. What we're gonna do is how we're gonna just one, yeah. And how we're gonna structure this going forward is like we're gonna do one honorable mention, and typically that honorable mention is probably gonna be a set that was heat but didn't necessarily work or didn't work.
Eli tier, yes, sir.
If we get like a lot of heat, it'll be like honorable mention of like, hey, this heat wasn't as heat as our top 3, but it worked. So, but this week it is heat that it would have been incredible if it worked. However, it didn't. So
it looked good on paper.
I agree.
I'm not gonna lie to you, KJ. Like the idea was immaculate, right? So the idea of Rindo counter Quagsire is, you know, obviously we all know that, you know, Quag is quad weak to grass, and you know it doesn't necessarily want to take on Ogerpon like that, but so the idea was to eat the Trailblaze, and then counter will say, hey, I'll return it back, I'll return the damage back to you, and then you go down, because obviously through Rindo it will halfen it down to like, you know, 50 something, 60 something percent. Unfortunately, it's an honorable mention. It is in the Eli tier of heat because Onesie said, nah, let me scout this out really quick.
It's so wild. I would have never thought that counter was coming. And like you said, it was the case where he thought it was counter Sash, which is why Onesie switched. Obviously Daria was Rindo, so Onesie didn't know that, because if Onesie had attacked through it, he would have actually killed the Quag.
+2.
Yeah, because he was at +2.
Yeah, it was +2 at that point. Yeah,
so it was +2 Horn Leech would have killed the Quag. Daria said that in her video. So
it's in the Eli tier for this week, unfortunately. But there's another. Don't worry, we'll get back to that game momentarily. Trust.
We will. Yeah, we will get back to that game. You're not wrong. We will get back to that game. That game was full of heat. So next, we're gonna talk about one of the sets that Mount brought. And Mount was playing Lars, and it was a really good game. It was a really good game. I had a lot of fun watching it. And the set that really stood out to me was a weakness policy, Iron Defense, Body Press, Power Gem, Trick Room, Diancie. Now, this actually, like, he was able to pop off with the Trick Room. Like, he was able to really do, like, Diancie did everything it needed to do. And, like, it put in work. Like, I saw the set at first, like, in his team builder, and I was like, how? Like, what? You're really bringing that? But, like, it put in work.
Yeah, I was afraid that this one was going to be in the Eli tier, because when you have another, right, you have Iron Defense on top of Trick Room, so you're wasting a turn to get to +2 defense, right? But if you don't do anything on that turn, on the Iron Defense turn, then now you have 3 turns of Trick Room left with a +2 Iron Defense up, and you can click Body Press pretty much freely for 3 turns max.
And then having Power Gem.
That's why it's number 3.
Having Power Gem there to also be able to hit the Bramble Gas was really good. That was another thing that was really good, because obviously that was one of the things that was sort of in the way, right?
Yeah, you can't exactly body press a ghost type, so packing a stab rock move, you know, was a nice, nice little, salt
I agree.
on top of the thing.
I agree. And I'm definitely expecting more like cool heat sets from Mount. I know Mount is a very good player and does bring really interesting and unique sets. So I'm looking forward to seeing some more heat from Mount as the season goes on.
Yeah, this is the first entry for Mount, right? So we will see this person. We will see Mount back again in a future week. We can assure you that.
Okay, so we should also one thing we should try to do is we should try to keep track of how many times like different coaches end up on Heat of the Week. That's something we're gonna make sure that we get going.
The counter is gonna be like the medal count is gonna be on one of these corners right here.
Yeah,
one of these corners is gonna have a medal.
We got this.
So right now Mount has the bronze medal for today, right? But maybe down the line, like a week 3 or a week 5, we could see him get a silver or a gold, right? We want to keep a medal count of these things. It's 2024. Paris Olympics are coming very, very soon. I find
True that.
I find it fitting. Now we got that out of the way. Let's talk about Q the Costa Rican really quickly against Shroom Raver. Again, another matchup that hits two coaches that are no stranger to heat whatsoever, right?
Oh,
they are no stranger to turning the stove up to 400 or 500 degrees Fahrenheit. You feel me? So Q brought Hone Claws 3 attacks Meowscarada, but keep the item that Meowscarada is holding, and that is none other than the Clear Amulet. So what Clear Amulet does is that it prevents any stats being lowered, right? So for example, you won't get Intimidate dropped if you're holding the Clear Amulet. It just blocks that. But the reason why Q had it on Meow was for a 1v1 against a Sinistra. Now, what this was specifically for the move Strength Sap, and so unfortunately, Sinistra was still able to get back up to full, but Biao didn't get the -1 attack drop, meaning that the knockoff was still 2-hit KOing Sinistra, and it's only number 2 because Sinistra clicked Matcha Gotcha and Biao lived on 3 but got burnt. That's literally the only reason why it's number 2.
Yeah, because I do think
if the burn didn't proc, it might have been number 1. He might have taken gold.
Maybe. I do think that if the burn didn't proc, Meowscarada might have just won right then and there. Or at the very least, it might not have won, but it would have forced the Zangoose in to then like quick attack, and it would have yep. So it would have definitely put a little bit more pressure on, for sure.
No, I totally agree with you on that front, KJ. 110%. 110%. But again, a silver medal for week 1 is pretty good.
True.
Pretty good.
I agree.
Pretty good to
just
have.
being on the Heat of the Week podium is good, especially for week 1.
Good. Yeah. Because again, by the way, just like what we said with Mount Dai, right? Q is no stranger to turning the stove up high. So we will see this coach again. We will see.
Oh, I definitely think so. Okay, so number.
If you want to see us again, click the sub button on the down below us. Okay.
Click the sub button. Click the like button.
Watch everybody's videos. Sub to everybody's channels, and then come back to us if you want to see more Heat of the Week. If you want to see free agency madness, all the fun stuff that isn't exactly PPL battles. This is the place to be. Numero uno, taking home the gold.
Dude,
this is hilarious.
I could not believe this.
I'm laughing because the person that's receiving the gold medal today has an entry in the Eli freaking tier.
I mean, but yo, this was heat. Like, realistically speaking, so I had no idea. So I sat down and I was like, yo, I'm gonna watch all the videos. and I sit down and I'm watching the coach that won Heat of the Week this week is Daria. I sat down and I was like, I'm gonna watch Daria's video, and like, if you're not already following Daria, like, please go check out their channel. Daria's great. But I saw the thumbnail and there was a knock towel. And I was like, what in the world? Why is there? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to watch the video. I'm not going to question anything. And I get into the team builder.
I had a question going into the video, right? I had a question going into the video because it was actually kind of poetic that it was against OnesieBanette of all people, because Onesie has drafted Noctowl in the past.
True.
And there's a certain move that Onesie likes to click with Noctowl. So I was praying to the heavens that she does not fall into the trap that is Echoed Voice. But fortunately, that did not happen.
No, it did not.
Daria pulled up with the Terra Flying Scarf Hurricane with Tinted Lens. Now, Tinted Lens makes it that resisted hits aren't resisted anymore, so comes in and gets 2-hit KO'd with Hurricane in the rain.
And the best part about it is, she even had Terra Blast for when the rain wasn't up, and like, that only actually ended up being relevant once. But it was still a case of like the preparation to have not only Hurricane, but Terra Flying, Terra Blast. It was just like, those are really the only two moves that she needed. And like, she had Defog on the set, like, just in case, I guess, like, case of emergency.
She had Psychic Noise, right?
She had Psychic Noise as well.
On top of Defog, right? So the idea was to Psychic Noise the Clodsire that would most likely come in and take the hit, and then prevent it from healing for a couple turns. But the freaking Hurricane landed on Claude, and that was gone too. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Man, I could not believe. I think Noctowl, I'm pretty sure Noctowl claimed 3 kills. It was just unbelievable. Noctowl, if that's...
Give it up for Noctowl. Give it up for Noctowl.
If that's the type of performance that Noctowl is going to have...
Heat of the season.
Honestly, though, like, it's, I guess you don't bring rain to a Noctowl matchup, like.
I think that's the lesson we have all learned from this week.
Oh, for real.
That is the lesson we have learned this week. Woo.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie.
Week 1. We have 7 more of these things to go through. We have 7 more of these to go through. So if this is number 1, I'm excited to see this set come back when it's time for Heat of the Season.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
don't know.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see.
Starting off proper.
I'm excited to see what people cook up for the next few weeks, because if this is the standard, then I think there's gonna be some cool tech out there.
Daria, although you have landed in the Eli tier for this week, you have also won gold, so that should counteract with your brilliant, amazing, immaculate prep. Truly a queen of draft league in my books. I don't know about your books, KJ. I don't read your books like that. I'm sorry.
Hey, Daria sauced me up in a game, so like, it is what it is. Cyclozar was blind. But this is before we get off on too many tangents. So this has been week 1 Heat of the Week. Thank you everybody for watching, and we will catch y'all for week 2. So take it easy.
It's been your boy Eli the Rebel. I'll catch you guys next week, man.